What has been holding us back as opposed to the other countries when it comes to achieving export-oriented growth?
All the barriers are mainly internal barriers, as I mentioned, because any industry works based on the factor markers, which we learned in like grade 9 or grade 11. Land has to be there, labor has to be feasible, capital has to be feasible. So as I mentioned, land is a big issue. And that's one of the main recommendations even by Advocata in the coming budget. There's a big program going for so many years called BIMSAVIA, where people get actually a cadastral map or like a certificate for their land that they own. It's a title. Now what we have is a deed system where you like come to a contract and you register that contract. But actually what we need is a title where it's like a commodity, like you own this phone, you can prove that you own this phone and no one is going to dispute to the perimeter of the phone, because you can easily show that you own it, like a vehicle. I mean, no one is coming and saying, okay, I own 50% or 60% of that vehicle, because you have a way to prove that this is my vehicle. So same way the land, if you bring it to a map, then actually you can show it, and that is what is required for all investors, investments, businesses across the board. Not only for these big investors who are investing in industrial zones, even for an individual to build a house, you have to have that title, because when you have the title, that you can use it as a security to access for capital, because when you go to the bank, they want a proof to show that actually you own this land. So that titling system is important. That BIMSAVIA is happening for, I don't know, for so long. It's very slow. We have to accelerate that. Even we encourage the government to spend, allocate more money, which is required because the economic impact would be much larger. Same with labor. Because we need labor to developing industries. So there are so many labor regulations. I think there was one good move that the nighttime restrictions were removed for female or in the hotel industry, which is important, because when you have tourists, we should give the access for our female labor force to participate in these economic activities based on their will and based on their wish. So those regulatory framework has to change. And another industry is tourism industry, which we can do a lot. But again, there are so many regulatory barriers that is basically restricting us. I just mentioned two. It's same for capital and same for when someone's going to register a business. So those barriers has to remove. Then the growth will take itself. Because when people are innovative, everyone wants to earn money and improve their revenue. I mean, no one is saying, no, I'm happy with what I earn. Everyone wants to do that. What we need to do is to remove the barriers, so then they can do it better and more productively and effectively. Then the growth takes itself. What the government need to do is, they can do it, but they should not intervene with someone else's freedom. So you regulate it, and then the government also takes a proportion of it, and then both sides get